Welcome to Taste of Life, an interactive television series for the gourmet in us all. This week's Epicurean Odyssey showcases the seductive city of New Orleans, Louisiana. Exploring New Orleans, we'll discover the sultry allure of the historic French Quarter until the sweet aroma of fresh chicory draws us to relax and sip smooth, rich coffee at the famous Café du Monde. Later, we'll explore the elegant Greek revival homes in the Garden District before settling in at the exquisite and renowned Commander's Palace restaurant for a savory Creole meal not soon to be forgotten. Finally, Taste of Life will share with you a spicy specialty food manufacturer who offers fiery and delicious, yet easy to prepare Cajun dishes at Mr. B's.
We are in New Orleans, Louisiana, or New Orleans. Never say New Orleans unless you're singing a song.
Welcome to the Big Easy.
New Orleans, a city shrouded with mystery and intrigue, but it's also a city that will happily divulge its secrets and wonders to anyone willing to take the time to discover them. Listening to live jazz under the breeze of a ceiling fan, joining in the Mardi Gras festival, dining on spicy Creole and Cajun cuisine, or simply resting in the shade of a cypress tree. Hi, I'm Catherine Blythe for Taste of Life Television, and join us as we explore the magic that is New Orleans. It was here in New Orleans that the French Creoles first settled, and it was considered a colony of France until a dinner party in 1803, when it was announced that Napoleon wanted to sell the stretch of land that extended from New Orleans to the Rocky Mountains in Canada. For $15 million, the United States became the proud new owners of an additional 600 million acres of land. The Louisiana Purchase is still considered the greatest real estate deal in history, and consequently, English became the official language here, even though the area was populated by French-speaking Creoles. Interestingly enough, Napoleon was also responsible for bringing coffee to America, and Café du Monde, established in the late 1800s, became America's first coffee house. Still in its original location and still serving the original chicory coffee, Café du Monde has become a true landmark in New Orleans. Taste of Life's first New Orleans specialty product is Café du Monde's gift basket of superb chicory coffee and delicious beignet mix. It's in street-side cafes like this one, the Café du Monde, that you'll find not only live jazz, but something else that New Orleans is famous for, and that's its coffee. Joining me today is Jay Roman, the co-owner, general manager of this cafe.
One of the group.
Well, it's a family-owned business.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Welcome to New Orleans, and welcome to Café du Monde.
Thank you. It's just spectacular here. It's so lively and energetic.
This is summertime, and people are moving a little slower than usual, but we still have a little activity.
Tell me a little bit about the history of Café du Monde.
Café du Monde's been in the location you're sitting in for 130 years. You're sitting in the city's oldest marketplace, and at one time this was an open-air meat market where all of New Orleans came to shop.
And how long has it been in your family?
55 years. It's took a series of turns. When Café du Monde was very small, it literally was a coffee stand. Throughout this building were a series of little coffee shops that people would come, the farmers, when they brought in their products at night, and the shoppers in the daytime, and then it kind of evolved to what you're in today.
Now, what about the history of coffee? I understand New Orleans was one of the first places that coffee came here when the French landed.
When the French settled here in New Orleans, they brought coffee with them, and coffee being hard to get, they had mixed it with chicory, which is the root of the endive plant, and it's ground and roasted with the coffee. And when they settled here and found coffee more abundant, they enjoyed the flavor so much they always stuck with it. And we still here in New Orleans drink coffee with chicory.
Now, there is something else you're famous for here, and it is these delicious-looking cakes.
The beignets are fried and served with the powdered sugar on top of it, and they too have their heritage in France, and they're now a staple in New Orleans diet.
What other products do you have here at Café du Monde?
This is it. This is the bulk of our deal.
So you're famous all over for your wonderful coffee and these.
And those beignets. We have orange juice and we have soft drinks, but these are our two staple products.
This is what everybody comes back for.
24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Well, thank you very much, Jay. I'm looking forward to drinking my cup of coffee.
Good.
Would you like to have some with me?
Absolutely.
I think it's about time we had these. One part holy, one part profane. New Orleans is home to what some like to call the greatest free show on earth, Mardi Gras. It's definitely the splashiest festival on North American soil, and judging by the eye-popping costumes, it's safe to say that the claims are all true. Every year, the day before Ash Wednesday is Fat Tuesday, or Mardi Gras, which marks the last chance at frivolity before a 40-day period of austerity and fasting, known as Lent. In the early 18th century, celebrations were so rowdy that a law was passed to make Mardi Gras festivities illegal. That law, plus an attempt to ban all carnival mask wearing, were largely ignored, and eventually all was legalized again. So, now during Mardi Gras, practically anything goes. Mardi Gras is certainly the festive highlight here in New Orleans, but that doesn't mean the fun and frivolity ends there. Year-round on Bourbon Street, you'll find just about every entertainment venue you could possibly imagine.
Oh, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Girl, when the sky we look upon. Oh.
Away from Bourbon Street and just out of earshot from French Quarter Jazz, you'll find the elegant Garden District mansions. The neighborhood, adorned with flowers and lush greenery, was built by American settlers back in New Orleans' antebellum Golden Age. The Greek Revival architecture of the era is beautifully typified by the Toby Westfeld home, which is thought to be the oldest mansion in the area. Strikingly different from its neighbors, the Briggs Staub House has the foreboding and mysterious sharp edges of Gothic Revival architecture. Set among these historic masterpieces, Taste of Life brings you the luxurious Commander's Palace restaurant, housed in a stately Victorian mansion. Commander's Palace was established by Emile Commander in 1880 and attracts gourmets and connoisseurs from around the world. Commander's Palace restaurant captures the culinary heritage and spirit of New Orleans. The cuisine prepared here is Creole at its best, with a New World American touch. Taste of Life's fine dining choice in New Orleans is Commander's Palace, with renowned executive chef Jamie Shannon.
Dude, I love New Orleans. The people, it has a lot of depth, has a lot of character, a lot of culture, tradition, and people love to eat and have fun, and that's what they do. You sit at a table, and everyone talks about what they ate the day before and what they're going to eat tomorrow.
You've been here for about 11 years, correct?
That's right.
Can you tell me a little bit about your background, your training, and how you came to be here? Because you're not from New Orleans, right?
Yes, that's correct. I grew up at the Jersey Shore. I hung out with my godfather, who was a lobster fisherman, and spent a lot of time with his wife, who was a great cook, Italian cook. And I also spent quite a lot of time on my great-grandparents' farm, and that was right there, in South Jersey. My great-grandparents were also good cooks. They cooked from scratch. Everything was from scratch. I worked a few small jobs and wanted to go to culinary school, so I applied for a scholarship because my mom and dad wanted me to be an accountant. I was going to school in North Carolina. Well, I was fortunate. I got a scholarship, went to Culinary Institute of America in Hyde Park, and had a great education, had a lot of fun, learned a lot, and while I was going to culinary school, I worked in a lot of European restaurants, some French restaurants, Italian restaurants. I worked with a lot of Germans. And at school, we had a American Bounty, and it was when American food was starting to get really big, and the American Bounty, totally all American style food. And so it was great, so we did a few New Orleans dishes. This is the last class before you graduate. So I asked one of the instructors, Tim Ryan, I go, I want to really cook this American cuisine, where should I go? And he says, well, you know, go to New Orleans, and you should work at Commander's Palace. And I'd come down here for 6 months, because I was going to go to California afterwards, and I've been down here since.
Now, you're known here for your Creole cooking, but you also combine it with a New World American touch. Tell me how the menu reflects that.
Well, the menu is very authentic. It definitely is. It's very Creole. It's very New Orleans. What makes it that is most of the product comes from this vicinity. I'd say 70%. We have, you know, we have our own farmers that raise rabbits, chickens, ducks. We have people raising tomatoes for us, herbs. We have fishermen that are catching, you know, they go from oyster fishing to shrimping to crabbing. For instance, right now, soft shells are in season.